Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny, here of the Godley Glow. Today is our first ever makeover subject. And I use the term makeover kind of loosely because I don't want anyone to see this and think that, well, she didn't even need a makeover. This is just something we're going to start at one point and end off at the other. And she just so happens to be a model, so I really enjoyed working with her. And in this video, I'm simply going to tell you how I did her makeup, some of the techniques, and why. I am an LA-based makeup artist, and I do have one-on-ones, and I also do full faces. I'll have the information in the bottom bar. But in the meantime, let's begin with this tutorial. So this is Jamila. This is our model. She is a South Florida woman, and I think she's absolutely gorgeous, and I was so glad to have her as my first model. So starting out, she has very curly eyebrows, and that can tend to make your eyebrow look extra sparse. So what I'm doing is I'm working in some wax in both directions in her brows to make sure that the hair is fully coated with the wax or brow gel, both from Anastasia. And I'm combing them and I'm cutting the excess hair that falls above or below the brow line. And this is just going to help to clean up the brow area, make it look fresher, fuller, and that in turn is going to help to frame her eye and her face better. I'm using a little bit of dark chocolate brow powder from the Pro palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, their brow palette. And I generally prefer gel products in the brows, but their brow powders are very pigmented and work very well. Especially when you're using the wax or the gel, it really gives the product somewhere to hold on to. And I'm just extending her brow in the tail and in the head a little bit, and then going in underneath her brow with some concealer to not only highlight the brow, but give the eyelid a little bit of base. But moving on, the eye palette I'm using is Mauve Obsessions, and this is a Huda Beauty palette. And I decided to use this palette because her eyes are like this beautiful kind of honey brown, almost to a hazel kind of feel. So I really thought the purple would bring out her eye tone and look really, really pretty. So I'm going in with that first mauve color. Actually, it's kind of like a berry, almost maroon color, and I'm using that as the first transition shade. That's going to be one of the first shades that you see peeking out from behind the look, so I'm making sure to really feather that out very softly. And from there, I'm just going to go deeper and darker into the crease and help to kind of pop her eye shape a little bit. So now I'm going in with that deepest purple. It's kind of like a purpley brown slate gray color. And I'm using that in the crease, and this is just to build dimension and really kind of carve out the shape of her eyes. She has a beautiful eye space and eye shape. So this look is extra flattering to that. And as you can see, I'm going back and forth with blending brushes to dense and then more of a long hair. The longer, more fluffier brushes really help to blur the color, while the dense makeup brush actually helps more to apply the product. And these are NYX brushes that I'm using right now, and I absolutely love this set. They have a lot of different brushes, and I really love the eye brushes, but the face brushes probably are my favorite. I'm going in on the lid with a purple color from the Morphe palette and blending that all over. For the foundation, I am going to prime the face with a little bit of Farsali Skin Tune Blur drops. I really, really like them. And then followed by the Makeup Forever Smoothing Primer. These are going to be the two that I layer together to kind of give her skin what I feel it needs to hold this foundation really well. And this is the NARS Creamy Radiant Longwear Foundation in Macao. And I blend that all over her face. I feel as though this is the perfect tone for her skin. It is just warm enough, and the tonal range is just perfect. I really love this NARS foundation. I think it's highly talked about. It's not underrated because I feel like everyone who does use it loves it, but I just feel like I feel like it needs a little bit more play. But I'm going to blend that all over her face using an NYX stippling brush. Definitely one of my favorites for foundation. In the center of her face, I want to say that this is Tahoe. And this is just really great because you can see that lighter tone beaming from the center of her chest and neck. This is really going to help tie that in perfectly and give her face, head, and neck, shoulder area a really consistent tone. And this is important specifically when you show a lot of skin. And she lives in Florida, so it's warm a lot of the times. A lot of the times the skin will be shown. So I think in that case it's very important to keep the skin, the neck, the chest area all very consistent within the same tonal range. If you're not showing as much skin, then you can go up a shade in the face, you can go down a shade, you can do whatever you want to do, kind of, because no more skin is shown. But in this situation, it was really, really important to me that everything be dead on. And as you can see, I'm going in with a mini stippling brush, and this one is from e.l.f. Definitely one of my favorite brushes, especially for a little detail contour blending out work, going in, you know, blending everything together, getting any seams, anything around the nose and mouth area. Just a great brush. Back in with a paddle brush from NYX, which I feel like the paddle brush is a dying brush. It used to be the way everyone applied their foundation at one point, and now it's like I barely use it ever, so I had to pull it out for this video because I actually looked at it and I was just like, oh my god, I never use this. But I am in love with that little stippling brush from e.l.f. It's like $2, $3. You guys gotta go get yourself one. I bring about 4 or 5 with me to every booking because I know I'm gonna use it, and I love to have a clean one for every girl's face. So now I'm going into contour, and I'm using New Caledonia, I want to say, as her contour. And I think it's the perfect dark, still warm shade for her skin tone. Very warm, very honey-like. And it blended out very, very nicely. I'm just going in and balancing the highlights and the lowlights, the highlights, the contour, and just really, really bringing out the beautiful structure of her face. She has a nice long neck. She has really balanced, like almost perfect symmetry. So I just really, really wanted to play that up and highlight that with the highlighting contour. So now I'm going in with, I want to say this is Cool Beige from Dermablend. And I want to say that I used a little bit of a cool tone because everything on her face is warm and I didn't want her to over oxidize and turn into a lemon. So sometimes throwing in a little bit of a different shade can counteract that. And we're just going in, as you can see, these are all NYX brushes. That long fluffy brush is amazing for highlight, contour, and baking. And as you can see, I love it because the hairs are long and fluffy. So it's great for blending, and it also applies product without being too dense. And I just love that. And I want to say that the powder that I'm using is from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour book, Deep to Tan. I really love that book. And yeah, I'm just going in and blending everything out. So now I'm going in with an Anastasia highlighter. And I want to say that that's bubbly, but I will make sure to have all the direct information in the bottom bar. We were just talking our heads off and having a great time. She's a great model. Runway walk is phenomenal, and she's a beauty girl. Like her face, her shoulder, her neck, so beauty. So now I'm going in, I'm just using a little bit of a dark purple eyeshadow along the bottom lash line to bridge the top of the look and the bottom, and also to just smoke out her bottom lash line. And it's probably the purple from the Morphe palette. And then I'm just going in with a little bit of that dark purple from the Huda palette and blending it out some more. So now this is an Urban Decay pencil. I want to say it's like called Destruction or something. I cannot remember. I'm so bad with names, but I will have them below. I want to say that this is Conspiracy from Urban Decay lip liner. And then in the center of the lip, I do use a palette from Il Makiage, and it's Chocolate Addiction. So I did remember that. And it's just a really nice, warm and cool nude palette. I'm using like a pale, warm nude in the center of her lip with that cool brown. I just think it came out beautiful. Catch the glow, honey. Catch it. Yeah, look. She shook. And for the lashes, I'm just using some really inexpensive eyelashes. Honestly, I probably got these from like eBay for super cheap. Just pressing it up there with some white duo. And always making sure to fan it, or at least putting it up there when it's not too wet like I did. And this is the final look. I hope you guys like it. Definitely check out the bottom bar for more information on the products that I used. And I hope that you guys enjoy this again. I'll see you guys soon.